Politics now. Legal opinion obtained by the African National Congress on whether it can force members implicated in serious crimes to step aside are expected to be at the centre of debate during the second day of the National Executive Committee meeting. This is the body's final meeting for the year and is reportedly divided over the matter. Political commentator Sanusha Naidu is with me now. She's with the Institute for Global Dialogue. Sanusha, good afternoon to you. Is this simply a question of loyalty versus election performance next year, and that's the stark choice?
Good afternoon, Jeremy. I don't know. I think this is just about the fact that internally there's no level of willing to let go. I think the rigidity, the inflexibility, the fact that people realize that this is where you hang on to power, this is what's happening, and that's the volatility of the ANC right now. This NEC meeting has to make a decision. We thought they made that decision a couple of months ago when President Ramaphosa took the reins and did the press briefing and made all of those promises. But I think internally the question is, were people willing to actually adhere to those recommendations and put forward the kinds of behavior that should be actually punitively challenged and action taken against individuals? And right now I think this is just, the level in which you say, try and come after me and let's see what happens.
I want to come back to that word then, rigidity, that you've just used. And given that there is an election next year, given that the stakes are high, why does that rigidity still exist within the party?
I think it's the way the branch structures have evolved, the level in which power has diffused and devolved within the branches, the fact that the Secretary General, outside of his bail hearing, after the bail hearing was done, and he could stand on the platform there and make those very, very interesting statements about nobody will get rid of us, or I'm paraphrasing there. I think that's the rigidity in terms of whether the central authority in the party is holding. And we always knew that the center has never been very, very cohesive. It's been really fragmented. And right now, it's those structures that have devolved through the provincial and local government level is where the real power struggle and battles lie. And that's the rigidity that doesn't exist, I think, at the center in Luthuli House. But this is where it's becoming that untenable issue in terms of saying, I can still stay here. Doesn't matter what happened. Doesn't matter I have a court case. I've been out on bail. It doesn't matter that I have these alleged criminal cases against me. In fact, just thinking about the party and the fact that at the sub-national level, at the branch and the local government level, municipality level, the way in which power has been devolving there, people have been using some very, very scary means of trying to attain power, gain power, and basically remove others from power.
So a lot of this, as you say, is about the come and get me attitude. It's about hubris. And driving that, I would imagine, is an element of self-preservation.
Absolutely. I think people realize that, we're at a point where it doesn't matter. I mean, what really scares me is the fact that in these uncertain times of a pandemic, we've just seen the level in which corruption and tender fraud has happened with the COVID-19 funds. We're watching the Zondo Commission, and it seems that there's no level of saying I have any remorse for what has happened. And I think that is something that really scares me, because people just feel that now it's our time to eat, if not more, and we'll go further. We don't worry. We're not worried that right. In one of your inserts right now, people are starving. People are actually drinking just water to survive.
So you have a Secretary General of the party who is facing criminal charges. How is he watching it this afternoon? How does he play it? With an element of ease, I imagine.
Yeah, I think he's very confident. And that's the tone that comes out a lot. He's confident. He seems to say that I have the backing, I have the base, I have particular bureaucracies that are in both at the provincial level and in the state. We can't ignore the fact that these factions as they exist within the state also play a role. So I think he's going in there taking the fight to President Ramaphosa and the faction that the president that aligns to the president, and saying, well, I think this is it. This is like a kind of a heavyweight fight where it's going to basically come right down to who actually is able to have the knockout punch, if indeed that's what it comes down to.
Well, let's hear if there's a knockout punch a little later this afternoon. The deliberations continue as we speak, and I thank Sanusha Naidu with the Institute for Global Dialogue.